Hi everyone, it's Heather from heatherdebreceni.com and empowerdivorcesummit.com. Today I'm excited to be bringing you part 3 of the Season 1, Episode 1 of the Empower Divorce Summit series. And in part 1, I shared with you some of my experience with high conflict divorce. In part 2, I defined high conflict divorce for you and shared with you some signs that you could look for to see whether or not either A, you're in the middle of a high conflict divorce, or B, you are headed towards a high conflict divorce. And today I'm excited because in part 3, I'm going to be giving you some tips that I share with my clients on how to start taking some of that chaos that's created by the conflict and to start turning it into some calm and or limiting the impact that it has on your life. So I'm excited to be bringing that to you. If you like this video at any point, beginning, middle, or end, please feel free to give it a thumbs up so that I know you enjoy the content so I can try to create more for you again in the future. And if you are new to the channel, please subscribe so you can be notified when I upload new videos from the Summit series and from other tips and experiences that I have. And also, if you find any of the information in this video worth sharing, feel free to use the share button so that you can share it with your friends, family, or people in your social circle. And lastly, I will say this this summit interview in its entirety can be located, or the transcript for the summit interview, today I cannot talk. The transcripts from this entire summit interview can be found on my website, heatherdebreceni.com. And the link for that will be in the comments down below. So if you would like to read the transcripts from this, you can do that in its entirety. However, I try to break the videos up into small pieces so that you can watch the sections that you feel are applicable to you and your situation in your life. So that being said, if you watch all the way towards the end, I'm happy to say that I will have some information for you. But if you think that you may enjoy working with me or that you feel that my work may be beneficial for you and help you in your divorce journey, there will be a link and some information at the end of this video for you to contact me for a complimentary coaching session to see whether or not we're a good fit to work together. So I hope that you enjoy part 3 of Season 1, Episode 1 of the Empower Divorce Summit series.
If you are listening and you know that you either fall into the category of having a high conflict divorce or you're teetering on the edge of having one, what are some things that you can do to change your circumstances? So I wanted to give you some of my tried and true tips for how to kind of navigate this and how to start to change that direction. So the first thing you can do to start creating that change is to change the way that you communicate with your ex. And to change it in a way that will help you protect yourself while you're protecting your children. So the first thing that I would say is to remove any unnecessary contact with your ex, unless it has to do with the immediate needs of your children. The what's up texts and conversations, looking at Facebook posts, that sort of stuff, that needs to stop. So that doesn't mean that you're controlling what your ex is doing. You can't stop them from texting you. You can't stop them from calling you, but what you can do is stop interacting with that. So just try to limit the amount of contact that you're having with your ex. You don't need to hang out at the same places. Make schedules with your friends so that you're spending time with them when it doesn't conflict with when your former spouse is, that sort of stuff. The other thing is when things are abusive, when you communicate with each other, or even when you can't agree on anything, it's best to avoid personal contact with your ex. And that means like phone calls or in-person meetings. For the exchange, you don't have to get out of the car. You don't have to talk to your former spouse. That doesn't mean that you ignore them. That doesn't mean that you do antagonistic things in front of the kids. What that means is, the kids, unless they're really small, they can go through the exchange without you having to actually interact with your former spouse. So unless it's absolutely required, just try to avoid it. Because anytime that you speak to one another, you're opening yourself up for another barrage of possible insults, verbal abuse, or any of those sorts of things. The next thing you can do is, when you do have to communicate with your ex, stick to the facts at hand. So keep it factual. No talking about the past, just things that need to be addressed right now. What is happening right now, and what are the facts about it, not what you're feeling. And that brings me to the next one, which is keep emotion out of your communication. So don't use feeling words. Don't express opinions. And you don't have to respond to insults or untrue things unless that it's absolutely necessary. So that means that, I always say that not every insult deserves a response. If your former spouse's thing, and I'm just going to throw this one out there, is calling you a whore, right? Or a bastard, or whatever it is. If that's their thing that they do, you don't have to answer to that. If they're saying you're a whore and you'll date anybody that comes around, and this is in your communication about when the exchange is for the kids, you don't have to address that. All you have to address is the exchange for the kids. Because it takes two to have a fight. So if you remove yourself from that fight in that interaction, you are creating a better situation for yourself, and you're kind of eliminating that emotional back and forth that can happen. So that's the next thing. And then after that, the next, the last really truly effective thing that I have to suggest is to use I statements. And an example of using an I statement would be, I will be off work at 5 p.m. and I will meet you at 6 at, your neutral location to pick up the kids. Notice there's no feeling words in there. It's very factual. It's very brief. You don't have to go into a whole lot of detail. You make your assigned place and just stick with that. So again, it doesn't matter what verbal assault was thrown at you at the beginning of the conversation. All you really have to worry about is your factual brief statement that uses I words, and I statements. And that will sort of, it takes the wind out of the sails when someone is raging at you, and your response is just, okay, so I will meet you at, 6 o'clock at the neutral location to pick up the kids. It's a totally factual response. Again, if it's delivered in writing, perfect, okay, because you're showing that you're being reasonable and you're not you're not taking the bait.
Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end of this video. I hope that you found the information and the tips that I provided about how to turn some of that chaos into a more calm or respectful interaction with your ex and useful. If you did and you liked the video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you would like to be notified, if you're new to the channel and you'd like to be notified when I upload new videos, you can go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And again, you can find the full transcript of this interview on my website, heatherdebreceni.com. And lastly, as promised, I told you that I would tell you how you can contact me to get a complimentary coaching session with me. Still can't talk. Coaching session with me. And the way that you do that is below in the comments. There is a link that takes you right to my scheduling software where you can set up an appointment so that you can have your complimentary session with me. I do these via Skype so that I can see you and you can see me, and we can talk about what you're going through on your journey and see whether or not we'd be a good fit to work together. And I always try to give you some tips and advice along in there if I can, and let you know whether or not I honestly think that I can help you. So follow the link below. And again, if you like it, give it a thumbs up. Click the subscribe if you are new to the channel so you'll be notified. And go on over to heatherdebreceni.com, because not only is the whole transcript on there from this interview, but there is also tons of other blog posts and information on tips for how you can parent your children through high conflict divorce, communicating with your ex more effectively through your divorce, and even some relationship advice on your new relationship, or even trying to repair some of the damage that you feel like is occurring in your marriage. So thank you, and I hope that you have a wonderful day.